48 Laws of Power is Robert Greene's, probably his most famous book. You might have heard of it. It's pretty infamous because it's been banned in some prisons in the United States of America. And that makes people misinterpret what the intention of writing this book was. A lot of people think that, it's just this manual written that dark people can use to leverage to exploit people. Which, I mean, I guess can happen, much like anything. Anything can be misused. But Robert Greene explains that the people he's talking about in this book who use these tactics and exhibit these dark behaviors, they already intrinsically intuit a lot of this stuff. A lot of this stuff they learn from a very young age, out of survival or just selfishness because they wanted to exploit people. And this book is merely a manual for more of the average person to have in their arsenal so they don't get taken advantage of, or at the very least they're not surprised when it inevitably does. Because if you come from a environment that's quite loving and warm and respectful and compassionate, if you go out in the world and you project that onto everybody else, if you go out and say a ruthless environment like the corporate world, or just any place that's going to attract a high number of, basically any high competition environment, if you project your upbringing onto the rest of society, to the rest of the population, you're going to get wrecked. You're going to get absolutely stomped, and then you're going to be reeling when inevitably you've been taken advantage of, and you're like, wow, how could someone take advantage of me like that? How could someone stab me in the back so ruthlessly? I thought they were my friend or my boss or what have you. So this is partly what this book helps to teach you, right? So if you have a read now, if you just look it up, 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, and you read through some of the laws, they are dark. A lot of them are very dark and quite shocking. So obviously don't use the ones that are those, but there's a lot of good pragmatic, practical use ones. A couple of from the book that I like are always say less than necessary. So basically not giving yourself away, really. Don't be babbling too much. Don't be saying too much. Don't be coming off anxious or nervous, or just giving unnecessary information that you don't benefit from. You only lose by sharing. Another one I like is don't outshine the master. Again, if it's a very helpful rule if you are working in somewhere like the corporate sphere, where you've got people with big egos. You don't want to be outshining people, even if your intentions are good and you accidentally do so. That can come back to hurt you. And another one he says, I can't exactly recall the rule, but it's about not being the top dog or being the top boss. You kind of want to be like the second or third in command, where, in his words, you do command quite a bit of power, but you don't have the big target on your back as the big person where you can be vulnerable. So that's just a few laws from there. It's a great read, man. Like Robert Greene, if you haven't checked him out before, he's an amazing author. How he came about writing this book was he started in Hollywood, and he before long became quite disillusioned and disappointed, and quite cynical about that space. And that's where he encountered a lot of this ruthless, psychopathic, narcissistic behavior, which he then went and looked at historical biographies and all these other research he did, which helped him write this book. So anyways, I'll leave it there. It's called 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Go check it out.